Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today we're diving into a topic that's close to my heart, breastfeeding. Breastfeeding is one of the most natural ways to nurture your baby, but let's face it, it doesn't always come naturally. That's why today, we're uncovering the top 10 breastfeeding mistakes all new moms should avoid. These tips can make breastfeeding more comfortable and effective for both you and your baby. So let's get started. Okay, first things first, let's talk about the latch. The latch is one of the most important elements of breastfeeding, but it's often a struggle for new moms. A poor latch can lead to discomfort, inefficient feeding, and even decreased milk supply. You might experience sore or cracked nipples, and believe me, that's the last thing you want to be dealing with when you're already exhausted and overwhelmed. A shallow latch can also mean that your baby isn't getting enough milk, which can lead to weight gain issues and other problems down the line. And if your baby isn't draining your breasts effectively, it can actually signal to your body to produce less milk, which can sabotage your breastfeeding journey. So how do you know if you have a good latch? Well, your baby's mouth should cover a large portion of your areola, not just the nipple. Their lips should be flanged outward like a fish, and their chin should be touching your breast. You should hear swallowing sounds, and you should see a rhythmic sucking motion. If you're experiencing pain, or if your baby isn't latching well, don't hesitate to reach out to a lactation consultant. Now, let's talk about feeding schedules. One common myth is that babies should feed every few hours on a strict schedule. But in reality, newborns often need to eat on demand, which can be every 1 to 3 hours, especially in the early weeks. Look for signs of hunger like rooting, sucking on their hands, or making little smacking noises. Don't wait until they're crying hysterically, because by that point they're already overstimulated and it can be harder to get them to latch well. Remember, breastfeeding is not just about nourishment, it's also about comfort and bonding. So, if your baby wants to nurse, even if it hasn't been that long since their last feed, go ahead and offer them your breast. It's a beautiful way to connect with your little one and build that special bond. It's easy to forget about your own needs when you have a newborn, but taking care of yourself is crucial for successful breastfeeding. If you're not eating enough or staying hydrated, it can actually impact your milk supply. Make sure you're eating a balanced diet with plenty of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. And don't be afraid to indulge in some extra calories. You're burning a lot of energy breastfeeding. Keep a water bottle with you at all times and sip on it throughout the day. You might also want to consider lactation cookies or smoothies, which can be a fun and delicious way to boost your milk supply. Remember, Mama, you deserve to be nourished too. Let's be real, breastfeeding can be uncomfortable at first, especially as your nipples adjust to this whole new experience. But here's the thing, it should not be painful. Ongoing pain could be a sign of an issue like a poor latch, mastitis, or thrush. Don't suffer in silence. If you're experiencing pain, don't hesitate to reach out to your doctor or a lactation consultant. They can help you identify the root of the problem and find a solution. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. This one can be tricky, especially when you're completely exhausted and your little one finally drifts off to sleep. But when it comes to newborns, especially in those first few weeks, it's important to make sure they're eating frequently enough. Newborns have tiny tummies and they need to eat every 1 to 3 hours to gain weight and thrive. If your baby is sleeping for long stretches and not waking up on their own to feed, you might need to wake them gently. Look for signs that they're in a lighter sleep cycle, like fluttering eyelids or little movements. Those early feedings are crucial for establishing your milk supply and ensuring your baby is getting the nutrients they need. I know how tempting it is to try to get a little more sleep, especially in those early weeks when you're running on fumes. But here's the thing, those nighttime feeds are essential for both your baby's growth and your milk supply. Prolactin, the hormone responsible for milk production, is actually at its highest level at night. So those nighttime feedings are like a supercharge for your milk supply. Plus, your baby needs those calories to grow and develop. I know it's tough, but try to embrace those nighttime snuggles. Think of it as a special bonding time with your little one. Eventually, your baby will start sleeping for longer stretches, and you'll be able to catch up on some much-needed rest. Now let's talk about bottles. Introducing a bottle can be a great way to give yourself a break or allow your partner to share in the feeding responsibilities. But it's important to be mindful of the timing. Introducing a bottle too soon can lead to something called nipple confusion, where your baby might start to favor the bottle because it's easier to get milk from. This can make it more challenging to get them back on the breast. Most experts recommend waiting until breastfeeding is well established, usually around 4 to 6 weeks, before introducing a bottle. And when you do introduce a bottle, make sure you're using a slow flow nipple to mimic the flow of breast milk. It's also a good idea to have someone other than you give the baby the bottle at first, as they might be more likely to take it from someone else. This one might seem small, but trust me, it makes a big difference. Breastfeeding can take a toll on your skin, especially your nipples. The constant sucking and moisture can lead to dryness, irritation, or even blocked milk ducts. After each feeding, let your nipples air dry for a few minutes. You can also apply a nipple balm or cream that's specifically designed for breastfeeding moms. Avoid using harsh soaps or lotions on your breasts, as these can further dry out your skin. And if you're experiencing any pain, redness, or swelling, don't hesitate to reach out to your doctor. Breastfeeding can be tough, especially in the beginning. You might experience latch difficulties, sore nipples, or milk supply concerns. It's easy to feel discouraged, especially when you're sleep-deprived and hormonal. But here's the thing, it's okay to struggle. Don't put too much pressure on yourself to be perfect. Every breastfeeding journey is different, and what works for one mom might not work for another. If you're facing challenges, don't give up hope. Reach out for support. With a little patience, perseverance, and a whole lot of self-compassion, you can overcome those initial hurdles and enjoy the incredible bond and benefits of breastfeeding. In all the chaos of caring for a newborn, it's easy to forget about your own comfort. You're so focused on getting your baby latched and fed that you don't even realize you're hunched over, your neck is stiff, and your back is aching. But here's the thing, you deserve to be comfortable too. Not only that, but making breastfeeding more comfortable for yourself can actually make it easier and more enjoyable for both you and your baby. Invest in a good nursing pillow. This will help to support your baby and take the strain off your arms, neck, and back. Don't be afraid to experiment with different holds, like the cradle hold, the football hold, or the side-lying hold, until you find one that works for you and your baby. And don't be afraid to take breaks when you need them. Remember, self-care isn't selfish, it's essential. So there you have it, the top 10 breastfeeding mistakes new moms should avoid. By being aware of these common mistakes and taking steps to avoid them, you'll set yourself and your baby up for a smoother, more enjoyable breastfeeding journey. Thanks for watching. If you found these tips helpful, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, share it with other new moms, and subscribe for more parenting tips and support. You've got this, mama.